It is D-Day for federal worker buyouts. Just under 12 hours remaining for government employees to accept their deals. And tens of thousands of workers are expected to take the money and run. Also, the DOGE audits continue. The agency is now targeting billions of dollars in fraudulent Medicare payments. But while Elon Musk looks to streamline the bloated federal government, Democrats are focused on firing Elon Musk. Welcome to the Big Money Show, everyone. I'm Jackie DeAngelis. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Taylor Riggs, Dagan McDowell, and Brian Brenberg, along with our special guest for the hour, Wall Street Journal editorial page assistant editor and Fox News contributor, James Freeman. Welcome. Good to see everyone. All right, we begin today on Capitol Hill with our own Hillary Vaughn. She's got the latest on DOGE's next move. Hi, Hillary.
Hi, Jackie. Well, the clock is ticking. So far, about 40,000 federal workers have taken the buyout option. That's according to the Wall Street Journal. But some Democrats on Capitol Hill are trying to scare workers out of taking it.
I've been saying to all the federal employees, beware of this offer. I don't believe it's been funded. I don't believe Donald Trump has any history of ever paying his bills. And I fear that federal employees may be marked for later riffing, potentially without any compensation.
But with just hours left on the clock to take the government up on their offer, the Office of Personnel Management is making it crystal clear, saying, quote, Fed workers, the Office of Personnel Management is approving VERA, that's Voluntary Early Retirement Authority, requests coming from all agencies. Do not fall for misinformation. While workers weigh whether or not they are in or out, DOGE is focusing on its next target, Medicare and Medicaid, where they say most of the fraud is. HHS estimates there is about $100 billion in improper payments made in these programs in 2023 alone. And for Social Security, DOGE has already started weeding out waste, saying they canceled a contract to offer a third option for gender. Instead of male or female, you could opt for gender X. That change was costing taxpayers $1 million. All these changes are making Democrats fired up. They say it's time for Elon Musk to go.
Nobody elected Elon Musk to be president, but he has his grimy hands all over our administration.
Well, we are not going to help Republicans keep Elon Musk stealing our taxpayer dollars.
Elon Musk, we've got a message for you. You will be fired.
But it's not clear what firing Elon Musk would do if someone else was just appointed to his same position doing exactly what he is doing at DOGE. Jackie?
That also makes sense. Hillary Vaughn, thank you so much. Let's ignore all of the outrage because DOGE is actually finding savings. And you've got the Democrats out there screaming bloody murder, James, and they're saying that things are already happening that aren't happening. My understand with Medicare and Medicaid is that right now DOGE is in read-only mode, so they can just go through and see what they think has to be removed and what they want their plan of action to be. Nothing's actually happened yet, and they're already, sounding all these alarms.
Yeah, the hysteria. I think this is a commentary on how that party has changed. And there has been some discussion after the last election. Maybe they need to bring it back to the center. But Democrats used to at least pretend that they were concerned about government waste, fraud, abuse. Now you see that. Now, that was granted. Those are some of the most progressive voices in the Democratic caucus. We're hearing the loudest on this. But saying we're going to defend to the death every last misspent nickel in Washington is bad politics, also bad for taxpayers. And I'm glad it was noted there. This is not Elon Musk's theory that there's a lot of fraud in the government. GAO, under bipartisan administrations, Congresses, massive fraud, hundreds of billions a year across the federal government.
Well, I agree with you that they're the most extreme voices in the party. But you never hear from the non-extreme voices.
Right.
Where are they?
Yeah.
I mean, if I was a Democrat, I'd say, please let somebody who's not one of these people speak about this issue. But those guys don't get a platform, and they have no message right now. That's the problem with this Ken Martin guy they've brought in to run the whole thing, is he thinks they're on the right track. And America's saying, if you're calling Elon Musk a thief because he's asking questions about the federal government, nobody with a brain buys that. Which is why these guys are all screaming and yelling, and there's absolutely nobody, I don't think, who's listening to them.
What I find hilarious is the Democrats, within all of their hysteria, they don't want anybody to even look at the numbers and where the money is going. Because to your point, over at Treasury, read only. They're just looking to see where the flow of money is headed. The same thing at Medicaid and Medicare. The Democrats, USAID, same story. They do not want anyone outside of their own party looking at the flow of money. I could sit here for hours and go through just the level of fraud, and the editorial board at the Wall Street Journal has written about this extensively. The fact that there is $1 trillion spent on Medicaid by the federal government and the states, and that is up 60% from pre-COVID.
Right.
If you go back to fix the accounting gimmicks that the states use to basically steal money from the federal government, if you fix that and return to pre-COVID spending in Medicaid, we would save almost $1.5 trillion over a 10-year period. Medicaid spending has gone up 60% since pre-COVID. There is at least $20 billion every year in subsidy fraud in Obamacare. So allow me to go on and on, but every dollar that those Democrats waste on fraud is a dollar that doesn't go into your pocket.
Yeah.
Right.
And Hillary cited that $100 billion number in 2023. I mean, that's not chump change. It's significant.
You know, it's interesting. I am so excited for the change that people like Elon Musk, private sector expertise are bringing to this. Because whether it's fraud, waste, abuse, we all know that there's a problem. It's a spending problem, not a revenue problem. Scott Besson hits nail on the head every time he says that. But I'm so excited that we can bring in maybe private sector solutions. Today, we got productivity numbers. And I'm curious if there's anything that can grow our way out of $36 trillion in debt. It's making us more productive. Productivity in the quarter up 1.2%. For the year, we're up 1.6%. In the last 30 years on average, productivity is up 2%. That's the iPhone, the iPad, this beautiful brain that's sitting in front of us. But that's not AI yet. Lyft today was one of those companies that said they're now using AI before humans when you fill out a customer service request, like, oh, you charged me too much for my ride fare. 87% now is all AI. So I am hopeful that regardless of the money that we definitely need to talk about, I think productivity and AI will usher in and help reduce a lot of the overhang with some employees and just help us be more productive.
I think if anybody's going to integrate it, it certainly would be Elon Musk. And so that makes a lot of sense. You know, just veering off a little bit, you know, and talking about pennies that do add up. How about this coming from DOGE? It was posted on X. The Social Security Administration has terminated its contract for the Gender X Initiative marker and removed all references to gender ideology from public-facing applications. This saves more than $1 million and is in accordance with one of the president's executive orders. When he made these orders, I thought on their face they were more just to make a statement. I didn't realize there would actually, that money is spent on these initiatives within these agencies. It's shocking. $1 million is not chump change either, James.
No, we'll take it. It's a beautiful twofer, isn't it? When you can kill bad policy and save money. And to your point, I think it is a rare and wonderful thing that these beautiful brains have come from the tech industry to do this. I mean, most people, the reason they're doing entrepreneurial stuff in tech is because that government stuff is so boring. Who wants to do that? The fact that you have this kind of intellectual horsepower, this IT knowledge, this ability to search through endless amounts of government data and find the waste, fraud, and abuse, it doesn't happen very often. You're kind of waiting for all these guys to lose patience and say, I've had enough. I want to go back to building stuff and making stuff. So to the extent they want to stay there and work around the clock, around the Beltway, this is really the swamp draining.
Well, that's the thing
that Trump has talked about for a long time.
Dagan, to your point, the Democrats are being exposed, and it's almost like they were the Wicked Witch of the West and whatever. Water was thrown on them, and they're melting. They just are melting down. They cannot take being exposed. They can't take the transparency. They don't want you to see what they've been doing.
Right. They always accuse Republicans of trying to push Granny off the cliff.
Right.
They've run ads. Even Sean Duffy, who's now the Secretary of Transportation, when he was running for Congress, they ran an ad same thing. You're trying to push Granny off the cliff. And instead now they're trying to give, literally, the Democrats, give Granny a heart attack by Elon Musk and his cronies are in there touching all of your data. They know where you live. Literally, the shrieking is at that level of trying to frighten our dear parents and grandparents. But on that note, what could happen? This is, if you've ever heard anyone, I do not know Elon Musk. I tried to interview him once and he took the mic off and walked off the interview because he had something better to do, which I understand. But if you've ever read anything about him, talked to anyone who knows him, this is how he goes about, like, taking apart an assembly line. Right. He will go in and just rip it up and destroy it, and then say, put it back together. And if you have like 25% or more of the parts left over, if he didn't save more than 25% of the piece, like he didn't rip out enough, he'll do it all over again. And he just keeps doing it. And so it might seem messy, but ultimately
probably should be.
You get to
you get where you need to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and he's showing America all the parts. That's the secret here. We see everything. We say, oh, yeah, that's a wasted part. That's a wasted part. There's no hiding anything. You could say you're pushing Granny off a cliff when it was a different kind of media, right? But in an X world, he can fight back and he can show the American people what he's doing.
And
I love it.
Quick,
let us look at it and we'll decide.
You just show us.
On your gender tweet that you had up there, I was making a joke with one of our producers. 99.9% of the time, go to a hospital, watch a baby being born. It's pretty clear if it's a boy or a girl. It's not that complicated.